Good morning and welcome to news around the globe on Aneke TV, your trusted window to the major stories making the news today. I'm Deborah Wakaba. Now moving over to the headlines. Alleged attacks on Christians, US Nigeria near completion of strategic security framework on security. Federal government prohibits SS3 admissions and student transfers nationwide. Bauchi State approves 100% salary increase, special allowances for rural health workers. And on the foreign scene, ECOWAS threatens targeted sanctions against Guinea-Bissau military authorities. Israel confirms killing of senior Hamas commander. And on business, onion prices expected to rise ahead of festive season. Nigeria reduces corporate income tax to 25% to support SMEs. And entertainment, Fireboy DML says fan connection more important than critical ratings. Actress Doris Ogala reports emotional distress following end of relationship with pastor. And now to the news in details. The United States says it is close to finalizing a strategic security framework with Nigeria to strengthen cooperation against terrorism. U.S. Congressman Mr. Riley Moore announced this in his post on X following a fact-finding visit to Nigeria. Mr. Moore said the framework will focus on tackling extremist groups operating in the Northeast and Middle Belt regions, adding that the partnership aims to protect civilians and enhance regional stability. During the visit, the U.S. delegation met with Nigerian officials, including the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, and the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, to discuss security collaboration. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has announced plans to establish a joint counter-terrorism force to confront rising insecurity across the sub-region. The chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government and President of Sierra Leone, Mr. Julius Maada Bio, disclosed this at the 68th Ordinary Session of the authority held in Abuja. President Bio said the force will strengthen collective defense, enhance intelligence sharing, and enable coordinated responses to cross-border terrorist threats. The federal government has approved the introduction of forest guards in northern Nigeria to curb banditry and protect vulnerable communities. The initiative was announced by Nuhu Abdullahi, coordinator of the Public Enlightenment Movement project, during the presentation of a documentary on key projects of the Tinubu administration. He said the forest guards will complement existing security agencies by denying criminals safe havens, while also highlighting federal investment in roads, healthcare, and water projects across the region. The Kwara State government has denied reports alleging that armed bandits were arrested in a Felodo local government area. In a statement, the Commissioner for Communications, Ms. Bolanle Olukoju, described the report circulating on social media as false and misleading. She clarified that investigations revealed the suspects shown in viral video were arrested in Edo State, urging the public to avoid spreading unverified security information. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a major increase in the annual budget of the Code of Conduct Bureau from about 3 billion naira to nearly 20 billion naira. The chairman of the bureau, Dr. Abubakar Bello, announced this in Abuja, describing it as a boost to the fight against corruption. He said the increase will strengthen assets declaration, verification, enforcement, and public enlightenment nationwide. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) says it recovered over 37 billion naira and more than $2 million in 2025. ICPC Chairman Dr. Musa Damo Aliyu announced that the commission investigated over 200 cases and secured several convictions. He said the commission also intensified preventive measures through project monitoring, ethics compliance checks, and nationwide public enlightenment. The federal government has announced a nationwide ban on admission and transfer of students into Senior Secondary School 3 from the 2026/2027 academic session. The Ministry of Education said admission would only be allowed into SS1 and SS2 to curb examination malpractices. School proprietors and administrators have been warned to strict sanctions for violating the directive. The Bauchi State Executive Council has approved 100% salary increase for medical and healthcare workers in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Sani Damban, said special allowances have also been approved for health workers in rural areas. The council further approved funds for promotions, loans for workers, and recapitalization of Yankari savings and loans. The federal government has described Lagos State as a model in malaria control, citing a significant drop in transmission rates. The Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pat, said malaria positivity in Lagos has reduced to less than 5%. He, however, warned that climate change and drug resistance remain challenges to nationwide malaria elimination. Over 100 residents of Ugwaji Okwanao community in Enugu South local government area have benefited from a free medical outreach by the Rotary Club of New Haven. The outreach provided screenings for hypertension, diabetes, hepatitis, and breast cancer with health education on disease prevention. Community leaders commended the initiative, urging residents to embrace preventive healthcare practices. The Enugu State Police Command has arrested 6 suspects over alleged forceful initiation into a secret cult group. Police spokesman Mr. Daniel Ndukwe said the suspects were arrested following credible intelligence with a firearm and other weapons recovered. The suspects will be arraigned in court as police intensify efforts to curb cultism during the Yuletide. The Enugu State Civil Service Commission says the state government is not owing salaries or promotion arrears to civil servants. The Commission Chairman, Mr. Robinson Odo, announced this during the 2025 promotion examination held in Enugu. He said the computer-based tests reflect the state's commitment to digital governance, transparency, and merit-based promotion. And news around the globe is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can stay connected with us on all social media platforms like Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now a quick reminder of major stories making the news. The United States and Nigeria are said to be close to finalizing a strategic security framework on insecurity. The federal government has banned SS3 admission and students transfers nationwide. More on this in our major bulletin. Bauchi State government approves a 100% salary increase and special allowances for rural health workers. And coming up shortly, ECOWAS threatens targeted sanctions against the military authorities in Guinea-Bissau. Israel announces the killing of senior Hamas commander. And on business, onion prices expected to rise ahead of the festive season. Nigeria reduces corporate income tax to 25% to boost small and medium-scale enterprises. And in entertainment, Fireboy DML says connecting with fans matters more than critics' rating. Actress Doris Ogala speaks on personal emotional challenges following the end of a relationship. Full story coming up. We'll be right back. On the news, the Economic Community of West African State ECOWAS has issued a strong warning against the recent military takeover in Guinea-Bissau, threatening targeted sanctions against individuals or groups obstructing a return to civilian rule. The ECOWAS Commission President, Mr. Omar Aliou Toure, says the regional peacekeeping force already in Guinea-Bissau has been authorized to protect political leaders and national institutions amid rising instability. The decision was taken at the bloc's biannual summit in Abuja, which also reviewed security threats in the Sahel and called for dialogue with the Alliance of Sahel States on regional security cooperation. The fragile ceasefire in Gaza is under renewed strain following the killing of a senior Hamas commander, Raed Sayed, in an Israeli strike, according to Hamas chief negotiator Khalil al-Hayya. Thousands of supporters gathered in Gaza City for Sayed's funeral, marking one of Hamas' largest public displays since the truce began in October. Hamas has accused Israel of violating the ceasefire, while Israel continues to demand Hamas disarmament as international efforts intensify to sustain the peace agreement. Tensions between Thailand and Cambodia have escalated, with Thailand considering stricter measures, including restricting fuel supplies, despite a ceasefire announcement by US President Donald Trump. Thai military officials report continued clashes along the disputed border, promoting heightened naval vigilance and security restrictions in affected areas. Thailand insists Cambodia must halt hostilities before negotiations can resume, as the United States urges both sides to fully comply with the truce. Now moving over to business news. Nigerians have been warned to expect high onion prices this festive season due to increased demand and delayed harvest in major producing states. The National Onion Producer, Processors and Markets Association says a bag of onions now sells for up to 130,000 naira in some markets, a sharp rise from earlier months. The association says prices may ease in January 2026 when fresh harvests from states like Kebbi enter the markets. Nigeria's tax reforms has reduced corporate income tax from 30 to 25%, with small and medium enterprises earning 100 million or less now exempted. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, says the move will encourage business formalization and economic growth. The reforms also allow VAT reforms on business inputs and zero rate essential goods such as food, education and healthcare to reduce living costs. The Group Managing Director of AA and our investment group, Abdullahi Haske, has urged African leaders to strengthen regional integration to maximize trade with the Gulf Cooperation Council. Speaking at the Africa GCC dialogue in Doha, Haske stressed the need for a unified visa system, trade facilitation and stronger financial structures. He said long-term low-interest financing is crucial for unlocking Africa's potential in agriculture and export manufacturing. The Naira recorded mixed performance against the British pound on Monday across Nigeria's official and foreign exchange markets. At the official window, the pound exchanged at about 1,936 naira, while the foreign markets recorded higher rates approaching 1,970 naira. Analysts attribute the movement to global economic pressures, oil price fluctuations, and ongoing central bank reforms. And moving over to sports. Football star Lionel Messi says to India was marred by unrest after fans reacted angrily to his brief public appearance in Kolkata. Security officials report crowd disturbances at the venue as disappointed fans protested the short interaction with the football icon. Authorities have since restored order while organizers review crowd control arrangements for future events. The Super Eagles have commenced preparation for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations with the arrival of 4 players at camp in Cairo, Egypt. Goalkeepers Francis Uzoho and Stanley Wabali were joined by midfielders Fisayo Dele Bashiru and Akinsam Miro Ebenezer. The team is expected to face Egypt in a friendly match on Tuesday as more players arrive ahead of the tournament. Now moving over to entertainment news. Nigerian music star Fireboy DML says he is unconcerned about industry rankings and critic lists. Speaking on the 90s Baby podcast, the singer said the support of his fans matters more than appearing on top 5 or top 10 lists. He described himself as content, adding that genuine audience connection defines true success. Nollywood actress Doris Ogala is reportedly receiving medical care following a distress incident linked to a personal relationship dispute. The development followed public claims she made concerning a former partner, which have generated widespread online reactions. Authorities and colleagues have since called for privacy and support for the actress's investigations and medical attention continue. And finally, before we go, on news around the globe, here's a recap of our top stories. The United States and Nigeria say to be nearing the conclusion of a strategic security framework aimed at tackling insecurity, according to U.S. Congressman Riley Moore. At home, the federal government. And also on the foreign scene, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has strengthened targeted sanctions against the military authorities in Guinea-Bissau as Israel reports the killing of a senior Hamas commander. And in business news, onion prices are expected to rise ahead of the festive season, while Nigeria has reduced corporate income tax to 25% to support small and medium-sized enterprises. And entertainment, singer Fireboy DML says fan connection matters more than critics' ratings as actress Doris Ogala speaks on personal emotion challenges following the end of a relationship. And that's news around the globe on Aneke TV. For more news and live updates, follow us across all social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I am Deborah Wakba. Thank you for watching.
Christmas is just around the corner, and with the current economic reality, many Nigerians are rethinking how to celebrate this festive season. We look into the streets to find out how many are preparing.
Christmas is a yearly occurrence. Whether you like it or not, it must happen. So for me, the best thing I will do is to be happy with my family. That's the way we're going to celebrate it. Whether we have money, whether we have anything, we're going to enjoy ourselves just like that.
With the economy of Nigeria, we will do things according to our ability. We might not go out of the way to begin to do excessive things. Since the economy is biting hard now, we have to cut our coats according to our clothes. We need to do things with moderation, according to our income, according to what we have. Gone are the days when we do excessive celebration, do unnecessary things. These days we do things that are necessary. If you can put food on the table for people, the children and the family, you're okay.
I'm not planning anything because there is no money. I can't just pretend I don't have money, but I know that God can do something tomorrow.
Christmas is being celebrated every year. If you don't do it the way you want this year, maybe next year, there's no die on it. You just plan it the way your economy, your level. Maybe last year eat 10 cups of rice. Today you have only 2. Eat that 2. Nobody knows about tomorrow. That's the one I'm planning with my sister. I'm not doing it do or die affair, no. I just take it cool. Whatever I have with my family, with friends, we share. If we don't have, we pray and ask God to continue to help us till next year.
I am not seeing people. Other people see Christmas. I see business. So I'm not in a celebratory mood. I'm in a hustle mode. I see your money, I'ma take it. But in general, so far so good. There's a lot to be thankful for. So all glory to God.
To celebrate this Christmas is actually going to be hard for now because the economy, hey, is very high. There is no money to celebrate the Christmas. In fact, there is nothing like to celebrate this Christmas because there is nothing to use as celebrate it.
The economy has nothing on me. As you see me, I am fully outside this Christmas. See this Christmas, anywhere is happening, you're going to see me there first. It doesn't concern me. If the economy let it go low. The children of God must survive. So with this economy, me, I'm going to flex life. I'm going to go out because I've worked so hard since the beginning of this year. So this Christmas, I'm going to enjoy myself. With or without the economy being bad, it don't concern me. From budgeting carefully to focusing on family over spending, Nigerians are finding creative ways to keep the festive spirit alive despite the tough economic times. I am Chinaza Ifeanyi, reporting for Aneke TV.
Methodist Church Nigeria, Archdiocese of Enugu, Chapel of the Redeeming Cross, has held its annual 9 Lessons and Carols service to mark the Christmas season. The event highlighted the biblical narrative of the birth of Jesus Christ through selected scripture readings and carols rendered by various choirs. The service opened with Angels from the Realms of Glory, led by the DVC Mass Choir, followed by prayers offered by the Very Reverend Dr. Joel Okore. 9 scripture lessons were taken by selected church members and clergy, beginning with the account of the fall of humanity in Genesis and culminating in the declaration of Christ as the eternal word in the Gospel of John chapter 1 verse 1 to 14. Readers included Sir Chinya Koha, Sir Barrister Nana Obodo, Honorable Ikechukwu Namoko, Ezinne Fobi Ede, Engineer Donatus Obodo, Honorable Chimobi Okorie, Ifeanyi Nweke, the steward of the chaplain and the clergy.
Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing. I have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you. And multiplying I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore. And yet,
for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
The Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. His delight is in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge by the sight of his eyes."
After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judah, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born, King of Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him."
Carols such as "O Come, All Ye Faithful," "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," "Why Shepherds Watch Their Flock," "See Amid the Winter Snow," and "Silent Night, Holy Night" were rendered by the Enugu Diocesan Mass Choir, Methodist College Choir, Emmanuel Church NGO Methodist, and TMC Choir.
The world today rejoices with a joy that never dies, and we join those holy voices praising Christ, our hope and pride.
Blessed all the wonder story.
Christ is born in Bethlehem. Glory in the highest glory. His own goodwill to men.
The service also featured a special presentation by Reverend Ikechukwu Anyodo.
Far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross, where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I cherish that old rugged cross till my trophy at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown.
The sermon, the Methodist Archbishop of Enugu, Most Reverend Christopher Ede, emphasized the true meaning of Christmas and urged the congregation to uphold love, unity, and unwavering faith.
As we gather to celebrate Christmas, we remind ourselves of God's incredible gift to humanity. He gave his Son, Jesus Christ, born in humility, to bring salvation to all people. God's love is for you and for me. He loves you deeply, knowing your struggles and your fears. He sent Jesus Christ to bring hope, peace, and redemption to a hopeless world that lacks peace and that was ready for destruction. Jesus is the hope that God has given to us as a gift. Born in a manger, Jesus came for all, offering eternal life to all who will embrace it.
The event also featured offerings, choir ministrations, a joint rendition of the Hallelujah chorus, the benediction, and the moments of entertainment and felicitations. The annual service left worshippers with renewed joy and a deeper appreciation of the message of Christmas. For Aneke TV, I'm Nancy Marian.
Hello and welcome to Aneke TV. Today we're on the streets of Enugu to get public reaction to a statement making headlines worldwide. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said he feels safe in Nigeria, a surprising contrast to the negative reports he had read before visiting the country. We are asking Nigerians what they think about this remark.
It depends on how you look at it. He himself, there's nothing hidden. What is good is good. Nothing can be hidden under the sun, because what's happening in Nigeria today, I think everybody is aware. So you don't need to tell anybody. Whatever he says, let him believe in what he believes.
He's talking based on his own perspective anyway. You know, I should not say that Nigeria is not safe. Some part of Nigeria is not safe, while some parts are safe. Like what is going on now, based on banditry, kidnapping, insurgency, you know, some parts of Nigeria are affected, while some parts are not affected. So the British Prime Minister is talking based on his own understanding, or based on his own perspective anyway. But as for me, Nigeria is safe.
To be practical, based on things that are going on in the country, we all can see, both the news, both all around, even the insecurity. People can't travel freely. You can already see that the statement is invalid because the insecurity is very much pronounced, and we can all see that things are not safe in Nigeria, and Nigeria is not exactly to be called a safe place. Although we can still see that in some ways Nigeria is safe, but not in all the aspects.
I don't think that's true because almost every day actually, if you go online, there's always one bad news or another, you know, regarding insecurity. So I don't think that's the reality, saying that Nigeria is safe at this period. There's news of kidnapping, armed robbery, a lot's going on. So these days you don't even stay out late. Like once it's 7, 8, you're already thinking of going home before something happens. So I don't think that's the truth.
No, he's speaking from his own perspective. Are you hearing me? Because he's not living in Nigeria. He just came into Nigeria and was, maybe from what he was presented with, that's how he's judging the situation. So when you want to get the clear picture of what is happening, he has to come to Nigeria and stay for some time. Then he cannot be able to say whether we are safe or not.
He said Nigeria is safe. I think that's his own opinion, because you cannot be at the top and then you know what's happening to people down. Okay, that's talking about the masses. You know what I mean? We ply the roads and then we move from one state to another, and so we see everything that is happening. You know, the country is so insecure right now. You can hardly even go from Enugu to Nsukka, you know, without even having to bother about you being abducted on the way, you know, and then all of us know that the ransom these guys are calling when one is abducted is over the top, is so exorbitant. So personally, I have a lot of things to do in Nsukka, you know, but I can't even go because I'm not sure of getting to my destination or where I'm going to, and then or coming back. The statement is not correct, it's not true. That's his own opinion. Of course, he came to Nigeria and then they took him around with security, you know, so those guys he's not the target of those guys, okay? Those guys doing those things target people like us, you know, the masses, yeah. So Nigeria is not safe.
That is the height of injustice in the whole world, because that is
something anybody cannot say. At that particular position she occupies, she cannot come to Nigeria, which has been bastardized by all standards, and say such a thing, because Nigeria is in a mess in all ramifications. So it is very unfortunate if he actually has said that, because anything can happen in this country. Nobody knows whether actually that statement was made, but if it was actually made, it is unheard of at that position she's occupying in the society.
Wow, that Nigeria is safe. Well, I don't know what the Prime Minister that visited Nigeria traveled with. I don't know, maybe he visited Nigeria by flight and dropped at Asorok and went back to UK. Because if the Prime Minister visited Nigeria and, travel with motor along the road, I don't know if the Prime Minister will say exactly what he said. So, Nigeria is not safe at all.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Aneke TV. Do you agree with Boris Johnson? How safe do you feel in Nigeria? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more street opinions and trending updates. See you in the next episode. I am Sharon Uche, Aneke TV.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, 042, and a beautiful morning to everyone watching today. You're watching Sunrise on Aneke TV, where every sunrise starts with delightfulness and joy, and of course that special sunrise back that help us on our day. And bringing you Sunrise this morning, I am Deborah Wakaba, coming to you live from our studio here in vibrant Enugu.
And good morning to you, our global audience. And to you, Deborah.
Good
looking
morning
good this
to
morning.
you. Happy New Week.
Yeah, and looking forward to the celebrative season.
Yes.
And you're looking like Christmas already.
I'm not looking like Christmas at all.
And Uche Osai, wherever you are, at home, in your office, or even making breakfast, thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful Monday morning. We're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, exactly. And it's Monday, 15 December 2025. And of course, we've got that full package today from our latest news, what's trending, our sport updates, down to the business talk, and many lots more today here on Sunrise. So please relax and enjoy the day.
So, relax, get more comfortable, grab that cup of coffee or tea, enjoy the ride, because the sunrise is here.
Yes, and coming up shortly, we'll be starting things off with our quote of the day. With what's that inspiring, what's that thoughtful, what's that offer insight to whatever we do to keep us well motivated, stay focused, and also stay driven.
Then it's straight into the day's top headlines. All the key news update that you need to remain informed will be served hot and tasty.
Yes, and right after that, we'll be giving you our weather report for today, covering major cities across the southeast and beyond, so you'd know what to expect before you step out, or if you've stepped out already, it's to help you throughout the rest of the day.
And later, we'll wrap things up with the day's global celebration to lift your spirit and leave you smiling.
Yes, all right. Now let's move over to our morning show inspiration segment. Now, our morning show inspiration segment today is coming from a well-known person by name Tony Oelumelu, CFR, and in his quote he said, is speaking on the myth of failure. Now in his quote he said, failure isn't always the result of a wrong decision or a corporate misstep. Sometimes it's a decision we never make. I'm going to take that quote again, coming from Tony Bumelu, that says failure isn't always the result of a wrong decision or a corporate misstep. Sometimes it's the decision we never make. At its core, this quote is challenging our fear of action. It is also telling us that silence, hesitation, and delay can be used or can just be as costly as not taking any action at all. So it's also saying that failure is not by making mistake or making a misstep, but instead it is the silence we keep. It is the fact that we don't take action towards what we're supposed to take, and instead we just stay stagnant like that and expect yes, everything is going to go according to plan, everything is going to go our way. When we don't take decisions, that is a big step of failure. And also Lumeli is also reminding us that inaction has consequences. So there are always consequences when you don't act according to something, when you don't take that risk, when you don't take that challenges that you're going through, when you don't face it head on, you find out that you won't be successful at anything. But instead, if you keep on saying you failed due to your misstep, or it's not taking action. That's the main talk on today's quote by Tony Olumelu. Mr. Ocha, I would like to know your thoughts on this.
All right. In this quote, Tony Elumelu, though highly respected individual, he is equally successful, and I love it when we pander towards the successful people growing from their weight of experience to re-energize, refocus our attention on what needs to be done. When we listen to men like Tony Elumelu, it obviously guides us not to make the mistakes they've made. And this morning, Tony is telling us that failure isn't always the result of wrong decisions or a corporate mistake. Sometimes it's the decision we never make. So the key emphasis here is the decision you never make. And why don't we make these decisions? At times, you see that out of fear of the unknown, fear for failure, then we'll end up not taking those right risks that will produce the needed results, that will give us, that will thrust us into or onto success, because we're so scared of being the focal point of a failed attempt at greatness. So Tony this morning is rightly telling us that a number of times is our inaction that leads to failure. Yes, that when people talk about the fear of taking action, you wouldn't know, you understand, what will come from that action. So rather than not take action, it's better that you're able to learn from the mistake of that action. And that reminds me of your favorite quote, that failure is not final. Right? That failure is not final. It means that from the ashes we can rise, we can be stronger, we can learn from our mistakes, re-energize to refire. When you talk about the aspire to perspire to, those jokes, those motivational speakers. But yes, you can get energized, learn from your mistake, you get re-energized. Then from that mistake, you refire. You keep at it. Definitely, success will surely come. Tony is telling us not to be afraid. Do you understand? Not to be afraid. That rather than not making a decision, rather not taking action, it is most important that we take action, and then whatever comes from it. But from sound decisions, you see that more often you embrace success out of it. So the emphasis here should not be the fear of failure, but the fear of not making that decision. Make that decision, be bold enough to sound it off. Definitely, Tony is telling us that we may definitely not fail, but we begin to fail when we begin to not make that decision happen.
All right, thank you very much. And also what this quote is also trying to redefine, it is redefining failure, that failure is a part of growth, and that a wrong decision can be corrected, can be redefined, or it can be learned from. But when you don't act towards what you're doing, or when you don't when your decision is never made, when you never act towards that decision, that is when it becomes you become stuck, and that's when it's called failure. For instance, like you decide to do something, you don't decide to do something, you simply failed even before you started. And also this quote actually is significant because this message is speaking to everybody, both the nation, both individuals, business owners, and so on, lots more, that we should try and make decisions. We should try and not only making a decision, we should act towards that decision decision, because for everything to move forward, you need to act. You need that courage. You need that strength to move forward, and that is this quotes by Tony Olumelo today on Sunrise and Aneke TV. And please do not forget that you can follow us across our social media platforms, across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all at Aneke TV, or call our phone number 070-304-37110. And please do remember that each new sunrise is a platform for us to grow, is a platform for us to learn something new, and simply be more present with whatever we do. And we'll be right back after the break.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose heart is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us. You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Up next, we'll take a look at the weather report across major cities in the southeast today.
Yes, and good morning, Oka. Starting with Oka. Oka woke up to mostly cloudy skies turning into a warm, partly cloudy day, so expect gentle sunshine warming up as the day goes on, with temperatures climbing into the highs of 20s to low 30 degrees Celsius, which is perfect for stepping out with shades and a light shirt. Evening will stay clear and pleasant.
Good morning, Enugu. Welcome to the core city. It's looking warm with sunshine peeking through the clouds throughout the day. Midday highs will reach the mid-30 degrees Celsius. It's a great day for outdoor vibes. A little heat, but nothing unbearable. Cooler, clear skies rolling after sunset for a calm night.
And in Abakaliki is turning off the heat a bit. We're talking sunshine with passing clouds and temperatures playing in the low mid-20 30 degrees Celsius. Dry and warm with a breezy feel, classic for the dirty December energy.
And good morning, Imo State. Over to Owerri. A mix of sunshine and clouds, or may start off a bit partly sunny with occasional clouds breaks. But by late morning, expect more sun with warm rising into low 30 degrees Celsius. No heavy storms in sight today, just a friendly blend of sun and clouds. Evening clears up briefly for a chill night.
Yes, and lastly in Umuahia is bringing the sunshine with scattered clouds and daytime highs pushing into the low 30 degrees Celsius. From midday onward, it's mostly sunny, drying out beautifully into the evening with clear skies.
So, wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, stay cool, dress lightly, but do remember that either rain or shine, we've got you covered. And this is your weather updates on Sunrise here on Aneke TV. We'll go on a short break and we'll return with more updates.
Asi na ekwekwo amagba ekwu ụmụ nwanyị akụọla o ọkwa na nzukọ ụmụ nwanyị oge anyị ji akpa maka ọdịmma anyị karịkwa maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ. Nzukọ ụmụ nwanyị bụ ebe anyị na-akpa maka rike anyị, ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, azụmahịa, omenala ndị ahụ dị mma nakwa ihe ndị ahụ ga-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ sonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwanyị ebe ahụ a na-akarị ihe na-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Ndị nne, ndị nna, oge a bụkwa nke anyị. Sonyela anyị na Aneke TV n'ebe a na-emetụ aka na ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ social media na TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Ọkwa na Aneke TV ka ihe ndị a niile na-eme. Aneke TV, anyị apụọnụ.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose heart is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on the Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
Hello and welcome to Aneke TV. We are right here in Enugu getting the reaction of residents to a major national development. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed an earlier judgment stopping the Directorate of Road Traffic Services, popularly known as Vehicle Inspection Office, from stopping, impounding or fining motorists on the road. What do people in Enugu think about this ruling? Let's hear from them.
The judgment is fair. It's okay because each time you carry your vehicle and come out, the VIO will disturb you and start collecting necessary money and tell you to park, and it's not fair. You know, it's not good. I think the judgment is fair, it's good. I like the judgment they passed anyway.
It's a very welcome development. If it's going to be possible, if they will adhere to that, it will be fine, because most times you see them on the road harassing people, having issues with keke people. Some people refuse to move over and all that. So whenever such a thing occurs, normally it causes chaos on the road. A lot of hold up. By the time they will settle the whole thing, just a few days ago, I think they had issue at New Market also, where I was involved in a keke rider, and so at the end of the day, keke people ended up fighting and everything. So if they will adhere to the court order, it's very good. So at least to curb the menace on the road.
All I know is for these VIO people, to them to charge you is when your particulars is not complete. When you don't have your particulars, you have any fault for your keke, they will substitute you for charge. But when your particulars is free, you don't have anything to do with them. They will not stop you. They will not say anything bad for you. The thing is good though, because keke people, we are rider, we are very scared of them. Anywhere we see them, we just they run, they find streets where we go dodge ourselves, because they're charging us big money. Understand? So we don't need, as they see them for the road, we know that they're happy. Anytime where I see them, I know they're happy, because I don't have any. If you have any issue with them, your own sorry, because they will disgrace you. They do all sorts of things.
The judgment is okay to an extent, because restricting them from or stopping them from collecting money anyhow is normal thing on the road, because you'll find out that after asking us for our papers, some will go ahead.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV now. Today we'll be taking a look at the sports update.
All right, Mr. Good Hope, the sports oracle with us this morning to give us lifeline and clear updates on the happenings in the world of sports. Mr. Good Hope, it's good to see you. How was your weekend?
Was awesome.
All right, so what's happening in the sports world this morning?
Thank you very much, Mr. Uchi. A lot has happened over the weekend, but we start with the Super Eagles preparation for AFCON. We saw that the list, 28-man list, was released, and people like Victor Boniface or La Aina did not appear in the list. But looking at the list, you can ask yourself as an average football fan why they were not chosen, why they were not appointed to join the 28-man list of the Super Eagles. That's the concern that has been going viral on the internet. People having a lot of questions, questioning the authenticity of the players who were selected for the Super Eagles representation at the AFCON. I don't know what that is, but we have to see what happens in the coming days. Looking at the list, you have the likes of Frank Aneke. We've seen it before, but the concern was raised again. Why these guys were not selected? Why these guys that have made marks for Nigeria were not called up again? And still in the list, we have people from players. If you look at the list, you have Wilfred Ndidi and Frank Aneke playing the defensive and the central midfield. They can interplay or interchange their roles. We also saw that the team, Fulham, has we will lose 3 of their players. Not that their players are going to die really, but they are going to move to AFCON. We have Calvin Bassey, their defense guy. We have Alex Iwobi in the midfield. Then we have Samuel Chukwueze that just came and joined the team, who has scored 2 goals and 2 assists in 4 matches. Samuel Chukwueze is really on fire. The question is, these guys, what are they going to contribute to the team while their team has already started feeling their losing them as a loss of impact? So what are they really going to contribute to the team? We're moving on from there. We go to the preparations in Morocco for the AFCON that is coming up on 21st of December. We have seen that the stadium is setting up. The preparations are taking shape. There are over 40 cameras which have been installed in the stadium, which will be used for the AFCON game, and that makes a lot of sense. It has not happened in the world of AFCON, in the world of doing this. We have only seen those kind of cameras coming up in professional football leagues all over Europe, but we have not seen it. This is the first time. Also, talking about the stadiums are taking shape. We have they are intertwining digitalization and sportsmanship. That really makes sense, that people who come to watch the match will have a good thing to see. And first time in Morocco, there was this snow after years of drought in Morocco. Can we say that the AFCON is bringing the good tidings of life to the Moroccans? They are having snow. You can see the stadium. You can see the things that is setting up. Is making a lot of sense. And if you see again, you see the camera, the drone, the super cameras that they will be going to use at the course of playing AFCON. Normally, we don't have those kind of professional cameras or those things, but AFCON is really taking shape, and this is the first time CAF has recommended a specification for what to use, and Morocco is over meeting those things. We're moving on to sports again. We have the Nigerian Professional Football League last weekend had some matches that came. We had Kun Khalifat FC losing to Abia Warriors, and Bayelsa United winning Remo Stars. We have Barao losing to Shooting Stars on their home. This is the first time, or we could say, in Nigerian Professional Football League, it's very difficult for away teams to win. It's 3% that always wins when they go in their away matches. But right now, we are seeing that the Shooting Stars, they won away in their match against Barao FC. And you see Warri Wolves and Kano Pillars playing a goalless draw. We are seeing that these guys are really coming up to play their game. We saw that Bendel and Enugu Rangers, they had a draw. Enugu Rangers had to fight for their life at Bendel Insurance. They really fight for their life. We had Plateau United playing a goalless draw with Nasarawa United. We had Niger Tornadoes winning El Kanemi Warriors 3-0, and we had Enyimba of Aba winning Kwara United 3-1. Then in the league, that in the games that are coming up today, we have Ikorodu City and Katsina United today by 4 p.m. Then we have Rivers United and Wiki Tourists. Let's take a look at the Nigerian Professional Football League table so far. What it has been like. Nasarawa United FC stopping the league by 30 points while playing 16 matches and having 7 goal differences. We have Rivers United coming coming behind. We have Ikorodu City, the top 3 football teams. These top 3 football teams are pressing on to ensure that they maintain that spot, while Ikorodu City is on number 3, is on the Premier League, on their Premier League table, with 2 points below Rivers United. Looking at this, you will see that there's a lot of changes in the Professional Football League, just like the other years. Now, moving on to Premier League, we saw Arsenal had to manage to win Wolves that Manchester United crushed. Arsenal had to manage to win Wolves, and I know this news is you are happy.
That's the game of football.
That's the game of, that's the game of football.
That's the game of football.
We also noticed that Liverpool and amidst the saga they had with Arne Slot, Mo Salah had with Arne Slot. Arne Slot came. Mo Salah came to the match with the team they played and made a difference. He made a very, very good difference over he assisted in a
so we can say that the Slot impact is making an effect.
The Slot impact is making it, because Slot decided not to talk about a lot of things, just to talk to Mo Salah, even though he dropped him over the Champions League game they had with Inter Milan. That did not even stop the whole thing. Remember that when you talk about Mo Salah, you're talking about a sensation, someone that has played at the top of the league, and he is doing well, and he will keep doing well. Looking
but you know, we can't separate the fact that the coach needs to do what he needed to do, and part of it is threatening players up. Mo Salah wasn't coming good in the previous games that we watched, and it all beholds on the manager to make sure that the team produces results. And when the fault is Salah's, what do you expect of the coach? Threaten him up, drop him, and luckily, good enough, you've seen that dropping him from the bench is producing results.
He's producing results because he has been the most prolific. Prolific for goal contributor for Liverpool, and he has contributed for a single Premier League history 277 goals. He surpassed Wayne Rooney of Manchester United by 276, who was 276. Then Ryan Giggs of Manchester United by 271, Harry Kane 259, Thierry Henry 249, Frank Lampard, Sergio Aguero, and Steven Gerrard. Looking at the list, we just have only 2 Liverpool top men who have made the list, and it was Mo Salah. It has been Mo Salah topping the list of goal contributors in the Premier League, and that's so awesome. That's very, very wonderful. Then on the world of sports again, where we wrap up this update, we are giving the man John Cena retired from wrestling. John Cena made a lot of
finally
he has retired. He has been on the scene for more than 2 decades. He has been there. Triple H said in one of the matches that he remembered the first time they met, that both of them were. He told him you are good. That years later we're going to come together to talk about how much you have impacted the world of wrestling. And looking at it, you see that John Cena has done. He has given us that memory.
He's a legend.
He's a legend.
In the world of wrestling.
He's a legend. You know that his team. That really made my childhood. I used to watch it on the television. I was like, that's John Cena. And every child then loved John Cena. I'm sure.
I know someone that named the son John Cena.
Who said?
Yeah, I know someone that named the son. The first son, the name is John Cena.
Oh, John Cena.
Yes.
Really?
So yes.
This is the way people name their children Chelsea, and I don't understand why.
Yes, his first son is John Cena. After much fight with the wife, and the name
John Cena. The guy will be destroying things in the house. All right, that's all in the world of sports this morning. Thank you, Mr.
All right, Mr. Gould, thank you for those updates. And over to you, Debbie.
All right, thank you very much for that. Now we'll be taking a quick break and we're coming to you with our newspaper review for today.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on the Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
A sị na ekwe kụọ ama agba, ekwe ụmụ nwaanyị akụọla o. Ọkwa na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị oge anyị ji akpa maka ọdịmma anyị karịkwa maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ. Nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị bụ ebe anyị na-akpa maka rike anyị, ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, azụmahịa, omenala ndị ahụ dị mma nakwa ihe ndị ahụ ga-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ sonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị ebe ahụ a na-akarị ihe na-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Ndị nne, ndị nna, oge a bụkwa nke anyị. Sonyela anyị na Aneke TV n'ebe a na-emetụ aka n'ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ social media na TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Ọkwa na Aneke TV ka ihe ndị a niile na-eme. Aneke TV, anyị apụọnụ.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Now we're taking a look at the major newspaper today. From The Nation, Vanguard, Punch and The Guardian newspaper.
Alright, and joining us this morning to give flesh to this news updates, deep analysis on issues is Mr. Res Arum, our in-house analyst. Mr. Res, it's good to see you.
Yeah, even after yesterday's stress and all that, you people are still looking very sweet.
And you're looking good too. This is what we do. So I guess we'll have to wake up the morning stronger and then reeling from the party yesterday.
Yeah,
but it's good to see you this morning.
Yesterday was actually scintillating.
Yes,
it was full of fun.
It was, and kudos to you as well, and kudos to everybody. Good to have you this morning, baby.
All right, thank you very much for that. Now let's take a look at our paper for today, starting from The Nation headline that says 2,000 federal government tractors moved to farms January. And on the Punch headline it says car imports rebound hits 1 trillion naira in 9 months. And at below the Punch headline that says coup, Tinubu rallies ECOWAS leaders, Benin detains ex-president's son. And then we have in the Vanguard headline 2 former governors fueling insecurity. And then coming from the Guardian headline that says Buhari's legacy on trial as MFLA ex-ministers face 3.5 trillion naira graft probe. Now we're starting today's paper coming from the Punch headline that says Tinubu rallies ECOWAS leaders, Benin detains ex-president's son. Now the Punch headline today is reporting that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has stepped up diplomatic efforts across West Africa, rallying ECOWAS leaders to strengthen unity, security cooperation and democratic stability in the region. According to the Punch, the Nigerian leader, who also chairs ECOWAS, has been engaging fellow heads of state amid growing political tensions, security threats and constitutional concerns in parts of West Africa. Meanwhile, in Benin Republic, authorities have detained the son of a former president, a development that has sparked political conversations across the sub-region. While details remain sketchy, the arrest is linked to ongoing investigations and it has drawn attention given the individual's high-profile background.
All right, Mr. Rez, ECOWAS region, West Africa has been a region, if I will use the word of particular concern, ranging from, since the inception of this administration, if I may, we've seen myriads of kills. Is the military taking over in West Africa? We are having discordant tunes coming out from the West Africa. ECOWAS is no longer the ECOWAS you used to know. Now we have another regional power, the Sahel states. President Tinubu is trying to rally around the ECOWAS heads of states to foster unity, to have a common front in response to issues in West Africa. Just at Abakir here, we witnessed a third kill. Moving from Abakir to Guinea-Bissau, we saw equally another kill. The military are really bouncing back into power. I don't know, Mr. Rez, are you as concerned and alarmed as most of us are?
Yes, everybody is alarmed. I am not. I'm not outside the feelings of generality of the people on this issue. You see, when you talk about coup d'etat in many West African nations, most recently the Guinea-Bissau and that of Benin Republic, it calls for concern. We remember when ECOWAS was ECOWAS. When I say was, because I see ECOWAS performance dwindling. I do not see them having the bite that sub-regional committee had, or sub-regional decision has. I see their powers dwindling, waning. You know, they do not seem to have all it takes to actually, you know, press on their member states to accommodate excesses of some nations within the sub-region. You see, when there was a coup in Burkina Faso, our President Tinubu was the chairman of ECOWAS, and he threatened fire and brimstone. Yet it could not result into anything. Yet there was no reversal of anything. In fact, the junta in Burkina Faso dared Nigeria and her partners. This goes to show that Nigeria, in her own internal crisis, could not brace up with the challenge of ensuring that they reverse the situation in Burkina Faso. Because Burkina Faso threatened anything, if they actually needed war, they would take them on and all that. And Tinubu said for purpose of peace and tranquility within the West African sub-region, he had to seek diplomatic conditions. But I can't see the diplomacy or diplomatic policies working. That's why other states deem it fit to engage in situations like coup d'etat. So you see, the military no longer fear anything because nobody is set to begin to call them to order. The military in those other states. Even in Nigeria, we had what they're called, I do not know, there are claims and counterclaims of a coup or coup in the process. But that never worked. So I think there's a problem. In Guinea-Bissau, they couldn't do anything. ECOWAS couldn't do anything. And they're thinking about an emergency, state of emergency. And the chairman of ECOWAS, the president of Nigeria, is rallying around the presidents of states that are still loyal to the sub-regional organization, so that they could come together as a common front to fight the issue of coup d'etat. Otherwise, the situation might, move well over all the states in the sub-region.
All right. I know that quite often you've spoken eloquently about the issue of corruption in the West African region, especially in West Africa, where the leaders tend to, pursue self-interest rather than the interest of the generality of their people. And you've spoken how this, encourage the military incursion into politics or leadership. But the area I want to draw your attention to this morning is the possibility of beyond African influence on these issues. Talk about the regional interests of the Western world in all these issues we are seeing in West Africa, because it tends to be that there are, rising interests different from what we used to know it. And if one has listened to the military junta in Burkina Faso, where he only cites colonial masters who are not so excited to see their puppet states, being taken away from them. So I'm asking, what we're witnessing, is it as a result of interest of this Western world, or is it an African-made interest?
Well, if you do a context analysis, if you actually do an incisive study of the situation, a lot of issues are at stake. Let me start from that of colonialism. We had our colonial masters, and when they came, when they even left, they set up pipes, conduits, I call them, a pseudo kind of situation where they still colonize. They are pseudo-colonialism, I call it. They set up conduit pipe from where they suck the resources of all those nations they had colonized. You have the places where you have gold. The Western world, the countries have continued to suck from there. And that's exactly what Burkina Faso junta did, and stopped the French government from getting all that they've been getting from the country. And then, even when he stopped it, he did not even run away from that, because he's going to another form of colonialism. Form in the sense that Russia as a country has interest in Burkina Faso, and will be willing to assist them in case of any aggression from anybody, so as to also fulfill their economic policy, diplomatic policy, with the nation, Burkina Faso. So also it has been with Nigeria, the UK, it has been with all those francophones, those areas that were like Cameroon, Benin Republic and all that. They have always continued to drill, harness, harness the resources of such nations that they had earlier colonized indirectly, and that is telling on the economy of such. You can see that most of these countries colonized by these world powers have not been anything. They have not gone beyond what they should, due to such a style of colonialism that they sued. They were not colonizing directly again, but they were indirectly colonizing those nations. You can see Malaysia, that came here and took Palm Front, is a country that is known. You can see ASEAN, the ASEAN countries, India and all the rest of them they have all grown beyond what we have in Africa. So, and these nations are coming back to Africa again to ensure that the African countries are put back to where they could get everything they need from Africa at the cheapest possible rate. And of course, you heard about the report about the super vessel, arrested by America sometime. These are part of it. The super persons in Nigeria are aware of no poor man. There is no Osai of Aneke TV that will be involved in oil theft, because you may not know how it is even done.
No.
And so also with Rex Arum, who is present talking, we cannot
they don't do news analysis when they are doing oil crane and...
Thank you. So that is exactly what happens. So these people are sucking dry Africa, and there's a surge. Even China has permeated into the Nigerian economy so much that the United States governors of the northern states of Nigeria have already provided a solution which they said mining should be stopped for a while. Let us now see how the insurgency, the issue of banditry will continue. Because in the north, in the state in the north, gold, okay, let me even say it, okay, gold mined from a state in the north. The governor of the state was showing the gold as what they mine. And the question is, who owns the gold? Is it the state or the federal government? Does the money from the gold go into the Federation account, or are they just paying royalties to the federal government? So you see, that is the situation we have with the kind of constitution and law enforcement we have in Nigeria. So because of crisis, because of mining, because of all these things, these countries come into these states to ensure. Then we talk about the military. The military personnel are also interested in power. They are zealous. Because if they are not interested in it, they may not be, wooed into, coup d'etat, suspending their constitutions and doing away with their democratic government. See, they are also zealous. They are interested in power. They are interested in money. When they have power, they have money, as well as every other thing. And they join in siphoning too, because I've not seen any military junta that has stayed and did not siphon money from their countries.
All right, that's very in-depth. Some other times, but for want of time, I may be asking for solutions to this issue, but Debbie seems to be waiting.
All right, moving over to the next paper, coming from the Guardian headline that says Buhari's legacy on trial as Emefiele, ex-ministers face 3.5 trillion graft probe. And now the Guardian head paper is reporting that former President Muhammad Buhari's legacy is under renewed scrutiny as major corruption cases linked to his administration move deeper into the spotlight. According to the Guardian, former Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele, alongside ex-ministers and top officials, is facing investigations connected to an alleged 3.5 trillion naira graft probe. And the cases center on financial decisions, policy executions and fund management. And this development has reignited national conversations around accountability, anti-corruption promises and the long-term impact of policies implemented under the previous government.
All right, Mr. Rez, I'll call to you again. Are we seeing an attack on Buhari's legacy? Yet, this government has not come up publicly to tell us that they are probing any previous administration. Not talk about the benevolent government that nursed them into being. But we've seen a number of ministers in custody emanating from the previous administration. What is actually happening? Are we really fighting corruption? Are we trying to purge ourselves of kleptocrats? Or is it politics as usual?
Well, you can see initially some people were crying foul when almost all the governors in the opposition parties were joining the incumbent APC government. And you can see that even those who had been in the administration of Buhari and who are not in line, in tandem with the ideals of the present administration. So let us not begin to see the government of the day only interested in probing persons who do not align with them. Let us see a realistic administration that is meant to fight corruption. So you don't use the anti-corruption, anti-graft agencies against those who are not saying yes to your ideas and your ideology, your leadership and all that. Let us see people the corruption being fought straightforwardly so that such persons, when they are seen to have wronged, will face the full wrath of the law. But if this is a political issue, politicizing, intimidating, harassing, and making people to say yes to an administration because they want to continue in leadership, that would be a different thing. So you can see Emefiele, Ngige, and them doing prayer, Seba, who is on the run. I believe he's still on the run. He traveled, though they said on health issues. And many other governors in the north and in the south, former governors, former ministers, they have been under probe. And how many of them have been jailed? The anti-graft agencies have been there since the early 2000s when Obasanjo administration set up through the through the National Assembly, the EFCC, the ICPC, and others. They have been there all along. How many people? How many of the former governors have gone to jail? How many of the former governors have? All these people. We remember the issue of Kano state government then, and all that. Even once gotten on visual. Yet, these people are walking free with their heads high on the street. So, let us be careful and mindful of the kind of anti-corruption crusade we are carrying. If we are carrying anti-corruption, it has to be real. It has to be such that nobody will have people will not have to be intimidated for nothing. So I think we should be careful. And the anti-graft agencies should be mindful if they are investigating that 3-point-something trillion has been missing. They should be very careful. They should be very straight to the point. They should actually not indict people when they are not really indicted. And they should not also give out people for media trials, as is done actually when criminals are caught, especially the public criminals, that is people who stole from government. They are given media trial where everybody would have condemned them even before the ruling of a court of competent jurisdiction.
All right. But I know you may not want us to do this line of action, of thought, but most especially it's quite compelling that a number of persons that we were seeing being prosecuted are not the main alliance or political members of the APC, and it tends to give way to the argument that this fight against corruption is targeted at certain individuals.
Well, first you said that I may not like us to go towards the line of this argument or this thing you have just said. Why?
Okay.
You are not God. You couldn't have read my mind to know whether I want to go to that line of thought.
All right. Pardon my grammar, boss.
So I am.
Yes.
I am saying that I actually say that if people are being alleged to have been involved in corruption, the investigation has to be thoroughly done, and it should not be seen that people are being investigated because they're not allies of the government.
Okay.
And those who are allies of the government in power are now working, even when they're involved in some kind of corruption, some kind of misappropriation, some kind of embezzlement and all that, you still see that nobody cares about what happens to them. I mean, they don't want to be called to order, they don't want to be investigated, they will throw the investigation into the dustbin and then pick up those who are opposed to the political ideals of the government in power.
Okay, thank you very much, Deborah.
All right, thank you very much for that. Now we'll be talking about Aneke TV's Media and Children celebration that took place yesterday, being 14th December 2025. Mr. Charlotte.
All right, let's call for the video on that event.
Today, what did I say? What did I say? Has completed, and somebody among the
All right, the highlights from those that event yesterday. For me, the high point for me in this event, it was when the children were praying for the founder, the CEO of Aneke Television Limited yesterday. For me, that was the high point for me in that event. Watching those children, say those prayers to this man that a lot of them, though they've felt his impact, but they've never seen him, yet they prayed from their heart. And then I saw a lot of merriments going on yesterday, but yet this is a man who is in his absence was able to, or is able to, impact lives. Mr. Rex, I don't know, let me draw you into this conversation.
Well, let me start from the event of yesterday. It was quite fun to be with. This is a maiden edition of the children's Christmas party, and it happened like that it has been there for maybe a decade. It didn't come with those lapses that whenever you are doing a maiden thing you have lapses. It didn't come with that. It was quite well organized, and the children performed, prizes were given. In fact, the children's competition was quite fun. Especially, I want to remember the little children that were dressing up for school. The little children that were dressing up for school. I I think those children should be about 3, 4 or thereabout, or 2 and 2. So they kept on dressing, and the way they did, and you saw the IQ of these little children came to play. That they're now dressed up. It's fun, really. I was excited seeing such things. Let me come back to where you said. You see, for somebody to start a television broadcasting station, especially in Nigeria, is just giving back to the society. The Nigerian person or the Igbo man is not interested in such investment because he intends to just import his goods, see the goods, buy, sell, and he sees his money. But we are talking about investment where you don't recoup even for 10 years. You don't recoup, you just keep on putting. Of course, you are just making an investment to build up the society. And that is exactly what Chief Dr. Pascal Aneke did in establishing this television station. Because I do not see where the profits are going to come from easily. Well, he is a man with a big heart. I've never seen him in person, but he has the heart of gold. He wants to ensure that he gives back to society as God has blessed him. So, with such blessings, I think the prayers that the children were doing, remember that Christ said something about little children. I think the prayers they were doing will definitely have very serious positive effect on Chief Dr. Pastor Aneke and his businesses, all through. And then God will actually bless him more and keep him to even give more to the society as he's already doing.
All right, and Deborah.
Okay, well, for me, this yesterday's maiden children's celebration was actually a unique one because there were lots of games that were played and then children had fun. Now there were games, there were music, and there's especially the time where the fill your bottle part, which was really a comic scenario where everybody was laughing, where the children had to nonchalantly fill their bottle of water, and that was the place that stood out for me. And it was a very entertaining children's party, and with a massive turnout of children, not only children, for parents, and within a short period of notice. And also I would even also use this medium to thank Chief Dr. Pascal Aneke for making this a success.
All right. Yesterday there were a lot of takeaways from the event yesterday, and both of you have quite carefully pointed out the whole event for yesterday. There are many takeaways, like you just mentioned about the competition, the little baby when they were pouring the water, and I learned a great lesson yesterday, a great lesson in calmness. Looking at that young chap being so calm, not rushing with the others. So for me, Chief Dr. Pascal Aneke, through this event, was able to not just impact but teach us a lesson in learning from children. There's a way the scripture talks about it when it comes to children, but yesterday there are a lot of things we learned from the children. That does not take away the parents, the adults that were here yesterday. It was one big family, as if Aneke television has been in existence for years. And then watching you, Mr. Rice, perform the cultural aspect of a cola presentation yesterday, equally, told me that there is need for all of us to equally go back to culture. There are things that we need to know about culture, about where we've come from, and how things are being done and where we find ourselves. And just like you've just said, I lend my voice to say a big thank you to our founder, our CEO, Chief Dr. Onyeka Pascal Aneke. Thank you very much. Your impact is being felt abroad. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much for that. And now here is where we draw the curtain for today on Sunrise on Aneke TV. But pardon me before we go. we'll be giving you our stock update. So please stay with us as we take a break.
All right, let's quickly just run you through into what happened in the market on Friday. But you're already aware that the market is already open this morning for business and is a fresh new week. However, at the Nigerian stock market update for Friday, 12th December 2025, the Nigerian stock market closed trading week on a positive note, with all share index recording a gain. Then let me quickly run you through the top gainers for the week ended. They were led by Guinness, which is traded as Guinness Nigeria Limited, that closed its books at 217 naira 80 kobo, making a 10% plus adjustment. And then they were followed by Morrison Industries PLC, which is traded as Morrison, closing the market for Friday, the week through, for fun at 4 naira 69 kobo, making a plus 9.84% positive adjustment. And then taking you quickly to the losers. As at Friday, we saw the losers being led by eTransat International PLC, which is traded as eTransat, closing the market at 12 naira 60 kobo, making a minus 10 negative adjustment. And then they are followed by Chelaram PLC, which is traded as Chelaram, which closed the market at 13 naira 20 kobo as at closing of the market, making a minus 9.90% negative adjustment. And then top equities that were traded by volume were led by Access Holdings PLC, Access Corp. They are followed by Consolidated Hallmark Holdings, and then the list, the third on that list is Zenith Bank PLC, the owners of Zenith Bank. And that is it for the stock market update. Like we did mention, the market is open already and trading is ongoing. But do remember that due to the volatility of the market, you are advised to consult an expert financial analyst before making any investment. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. And now it's a wrap on Sunrise and Aneke TV today, being 5th December 2025. And of course, it's always a pleasure having you every day on our show on Sunrise, every morning from Monday to Friday. And please do not forget to follow us across our social media platforms, across Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. And do not forget to call our phone number 070-3043-7110. I am Deborah Wakoba.
And I'm Uche Osai. Remember, you're not here to be average. Be unique. Keep watching Aneke TV to come your way. Same time. Bye-bye.
Christmas carols and the Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols remain one of the most enduring traditions of the Christmas season, combining scripture, music and reflection to tell the story of hope at the heart of the Christian faith. Beyond the pageantry and familiar melodies, the service carries lessons that continue to resonate in an increasingly divided and uncertain world. The Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols, which originated in England in the late 19th century and gained global recognition through the annual service at King's College, Cambridge, is carefully structured to trace the biblical narrative of humanity. The readings begin with the story of the fall, acknowledging human frailty and the consequences of disobedience before moving through the promises of redemption and culminating in the birth of Jesus Christ.
Now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women."
Sing lying on a bed of straw, across his table with a open door. Mary carried a bed she bore, the Prince of Glory is his name.
Oh, carry me.
And they were in the same country, shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. 10. And the angel said unto them, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen.
Christmas carols reinforce this message through music that is both participatory and reflective. Sung collectively by congregations and choirs, carols transform doctrine into lived experience. Their lyrics speak of joy, peace, humility, and goodwill, while their melodies evoke memory, belonging, and continuity across generations. In this way, carols bridge the sacred and the communal, drawing individuals into a shared moment of reflection. The significance of 9 lessons lies in their honesty. They do not deny the existence of pain, injustice, or suffering. Instead, they place these realities within a broader story of hope and restoration.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing. I have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you. I multiply and I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore." The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. You have multiplied the nation and increased its joy. They rejoice before you, according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian.
The world today rejoices with a joy that never dies, and we join those holy voices praising Christ, our hope and pride.
Blessed all the wonder story.
Christ is born in Bethlehem. Glory in the highest glory. His own goodwill to men.
The birth of Christ, as presented in the final readings, symbolizes renewal and the possibility of transformation even in the most difficult circumstances. This message remains relevant at a time when many societies are grappling with economic pressures, insecurity, and social tension. Beyond the religious setting, the service offers broader moral lessons. It calls for compassion in the face of hardship, generosity in times of want, and peace amid conflict. In contrast to the commercial excesses often associated with the festive season, the night lessons and Christmas carols invite quiet reflection, reminding audiences that the essence of Christmas is not consumption but conscience.
Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem. Into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be tasked with Mary, his supposed wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in a swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room.
This message remains relevant at a time when many societies are grappling with economic pressures, insecurity, and social tension. Beyond the religious setting, the service offers broader moral lessons. It calls for compassion in the face of hardship, generosity in times of want, and peace amid conflict. In contrast to the commercial excesses often associated with the festive season, the night lessons and Christmas carols invite quiet reflection, reminding audiences that the essence of Christmas is not consumption but conscience. For many families and communities, the tradition also serves as a moment of pause. It encourages listening rather than rushing, reflection rather than distraction, and unity rather than division. In a fast-paced world, this pause has become increasingly valuable. As Christmas draws near, the continued relevance of Christmas carols and the nine lessons lies in the ability to recenter attention on enduring values, help, peace, humility, and shared humanity. Beyond attending services and singing familiar carols, individuals and communities are encouraged to carry the lessons of Christmas into daily life. Acts of kindness, reconciliation, and care for the vulnerable should not end with this season, but define the months that follow. In doing so, the true spirit of Christmas can extend far beyond December.
Worship Christ the
Hello and welcome to Aneke TV. We are right here in Enugu getting the reaction of residents to a major national development. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed an earlier judgment stopping the Directorate of Road Traffic Services, popularly known as Vehicle Inspection Office, from stopping, impounding or fining motorists on the road. What do people in Enugu think about this ruling? Let's hear from them.
The judgment is fair. It's okay because each time you carry your vehicle and come out, the VIO will disturb you and start collecting necessary money and tell you to park, and it's not fair. You know, it's not good. I think the judgment is fair, it's good. I like the judgment they passed anyway.
It's a very welcome development. If it's going to be possible, if they will adhere to that, it will be fine, because most times you see them on the road harassing people, having issues with keke people. Some people refuse to move over and all that. So whenever such a thing occurs, normally it causes chaos on the road. A lot of hold up. By the time they will settle the whole thing, just a few days ago, I think they had issue at New Market also, where I was involved in a keke rider, and so at the end of the day, keke people ended up fighting and everything. So if they will adhere to the court order, it's very good. So at least to curb the menace on the road.
All I know is for these VIO people, to them to charge you is when your particulars is not complete. When you don't have your particulars, you have any fault for your keke, they will substitute you for charge. But when your particulars is free, you don't have anything to do with them. They will not stop you. They will not say anything bad for you. The thing is good though, because keke people, we are rider, we are very scared of them. Anywhere we see them, we just they run, they find street where we go dodge ourselves, because they're charging us big money. Understand? So we don't need, as they see them for the road, we know they're happy. Anytime where I see them, I know they're happy, because I don't have any. If you have any issue with them, your own sorry, because they will disgrace you. They do all such of thing.
The judgment is okay to an extent, because restricting them from or stopping them from collecting money anyhow is normal thing on the road, because you'll find out that after asking us for our papers, some will go ahead, collect money behind. But if all of us will endeavor to have our papers, if they will be able to check our papers, know that these people, your papers are okay, now it's okay with me. You understand? Like police, if police check your paper and it is okay, let them leave you. Not after checking your paper, they will start telling you you're not, your sign, whereas the car they are carrying doesn't even have those things they require from you. Some of the cars they carry doesn't even have a wiper. They doesn't even have that brake light they require from you. So it's somehow not good for us, the motorists, because it is our daily bread that we come out to fetch for. And in as much as we are coming this place every day, we ply that road every day, you should also know that these cars are not stolen. These cars are not stolen. At least you check cars when there is an emergency or call for something like that. So I think that if the government want to maybe regulate or curtail the excesses of this VIO, they should do it for us. But what the VIO in question is a normal thing on the road. But maybe the hanky-panky they are working might not be well.
Nigeria is so corrupt that even our elected leaders disobey the court rule. How do you think they can stop it? I'm even surprised. Commissioner of Police will give order to the police, and in the next 24 hours, you see policemen violating the order given by their senior officer. Where are we heading to? We have corrupt politicians, so we are lawless. So what again? They can go on collecting it despite the order. Now who is policing them? Nobody. So where are we? The poor masses are in danger. We have no rule of law. We say we are in democracy, but there is nothing like rule of law. Our leaders does not respect the rule of law. Why? And what do they want the pharmacists to do? The VIO, they are collecting bribe on the road, quite all right. But nobody can checkmate them. So the government are equally corrupt. Why?
The judgment is unfair because we know they are disturbing people. If you're driving on the road, somebody will just come out of the signal and stop you. And when they stop you, they start collecting money. Say you should park. Some start pitying people unnecessarily. So they should be take caution. People should caution them. As God says, it is good to stop them. Dragging people unnecessarily. But let they put statistics measure on the road signs, so that people driving cars will know where to stop, where to drive, where to not park. The road signals, let them make that so that everybody will know his own right and left.
Thanks for staying with us on Aneke TV here in Enugu. What's your opinion on the court judgment? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more street reactions and updates. See you next time. I am Sharon Uche, Aneke TV.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premium current affairs program, where politics, development and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is, let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnap them, ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, you want to use a kinetic approach alone. You cannot.
For discussions that promise insight and deliver truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us. Good morning and thank you for joining us today on The Insight. Nigeria stands at a critical crossroads, facing challenges and opportunities that will shape its future for generations. Nigeria, the road not yet traveled, invites us to explore the untapped potentials, unresolved issues, and pivotal decisions ahead. Together with Dr. Dons Eze, a veteran journalist, we examine what must be done to move this nation forward with vision, courage, and determination. Dr. Dons.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you on the program today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So today, we are exploring Nigeria, the road not yet traveled. And first of all, I want us to take a look at INEC, being that it's still on the front burner issues in Nigeria today. And I want to ask, with hindsight, do you believe the constitutional process of appointing INEC chairman has enhanced Nigeria's quest for electoral transparency, credibility, and public trust?
Thank you. Let's go down a little bit down the lane.
Okay.
Since 1960, Nigeria have been battling with the electoral process, but they have not got it well. Okay. The first electoral commissioner Nigeria had was EEAO. He conducted the first election in 1964. It didn't work well. The first election was, in fact, during the election, 3 out of 4 electoral commissioners resigned and said the election process was not correct. Because this man was appointed by the Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa. He danced to their tune. He did not work well. And that was the beginning of the problems Nigeria have. From that time, Nigeria has been battling with one electoral process after the other. The first election was not well conducted. The election results were called, were announced, and it did not go well. And some of the electoral commission resigned. In the East, that time, the NCNC did not accept the election result. In fact, there was a boycott of the election because it did not go well. It was reconducted. In fact, the first president of Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, threatened to resign because the election was not well conducted. That process was first cancelled. After cancellation, they conducted another one, which was manageable. Not that because it went well, but there was a coalition between NCNC and NPC in the north. The action group stood on their own. So after that cancellation, another election was conducted. And from that, we went to the Western Nigeria election. That was the camel that broke the camel's back. The camel that broke the camel's back. That led to the Western Nigeria crisis and to the army takeover. After the army, for 13.5 years, Nigeria was under military rule. After the first election conducted in the Second Republic, it was manageable. Manageable in the sense that if you see the exercise, there was a controversy between MPN and the UPN, National Party of Nigeria and the Unity Party of Nigeria. During that election, there was no clear majority. Election result was announced, and that's why we had 12-3 majority, 12-3. The UPN went to tribunal, and the tribunal upheld it. That time, Nigeria had 19 states. The issue at stake was what constitutes the 2/3 of Nigeria. Because MPN won in 12 states. They didn't make it in Kano, which was the 13th state. They went to Kano and said it was 2/3 of Kano that made it up. So that crisis persisted. After the Second Republic, now came another military regime. Babangida battled with his own system from one electoral process to the other, from one to the other. First of all, he wanted to hand over in 1990. He shifted it to 1992 to 1993. And then after the election that Abiola supposed to have won, did not go well. All these processes, because the people in power, the person in power, appointed the electoral henchman, and that person seemed to be dancing to the tune of the person that appointed him. Now this time around, we have a new man that appointed Amopiton, which they say is a clean man. Yes, he may be a clean man, because all testimonies says that he's a clean man. And he himself has said he wouldn't like for tribunal to dictate who is going to be the president or who is going to be the governor. Let it be decided on the polling booth. It's correct. But will the system allow it to happen? Okay. Somebody appointed him. And it seems to me that he is likely to dance to the tune of the man who appointed him. If not, there might be a problem. So there's a lot of things if you bring an angel here in Nigeria, under the system we are operating, it might be difficult for that angel to deliver.
It might be difficult for
the angel to deliver because of the system.
Okay.
The system that we have, somebody appointed you and gave you all the, he might not even allow you to perform or even put a wedge, blood block on your way. You can't do it alone. From Abuja, the man who is there as electoral commissioner, the Peter, who is the Aneke chairman, he can't be in Abuja and be in Enugu and be in Calabar, be in Borno. Some other person along the line might have problem with him, and that person might dance his tune. If I were to ask to recommend, I would say, okay, these people who are there now, change them, maybe a month before the election itself. Because if they're entrenched in a particular place, those people who are manipulating the system will also get at him. But if you change them, transfer them from here to here, it might be difficult for the person, for the people to regroup and get the people. So for me, Peter might be a clean man, but people who are working him are there as clear as him. The men who appointed him, he has a purpose. He won't allow somebody who he appointed to derail him. Okay. This is my own take on that.
All right. Doctor,
yes,
still speaking on the process, I know for you, you would advise that at the subnational, the states, they should remove whoever is there 1 month to the election.
To the election period.
But speaking to the process now, and if Dr. Dons Eze is called upon to advise, what would you suggest that would do as regards the process?
That's what I'm saying now. Change the electoral commissioners.
No, I'm speaking to now beyond the electoral commissioners at the subnational level.
The president should not be appointing
appointing the chairman. So what process would you suggest that would do if we take it away from the president? Where should he go to?
He should go to the National Assembly. Maybe ask the states, or have a neutral body that will appoint the electoral commissioners. A neutral body, not the president appointing him. If that neutral body appoint the electoral commissioner, any chairman or other commissioners, they will go to the process. But allowing the president to appoint somebody who is going to supervise his own election, you will not get somebody that's going to get him out.
All right. Let's look at defections in Nigeria. You know, defections didn't start now. It's always been there. But given the spite of defections in this dispensation, we've seen APC controlling more states than what we've ever witnessed in the recent past. And I want to ask, do you think Nigeria is tilting towards a one-party state? And if that is feasible in Nigeria?
There are going to be more defections. When the time comes now for primaries, those who fail to win the primary will also defect. So it's not likely that Nigeria is going to be a one-party state. Nigeria is too big to have a one-party state, like what is happening in Cameroon, happening Ivory Coast, where somebody has been in office for 43 years, and they elected him again. The same thing in Ivory Coast. Nigeria is too big for that. Too big for that. There are going to be more defections. By 2026, you see more defections. People who are now in APC, if they fail to get that ticket, they will go back. They will also defect to another party.
Okay. So, you say Nigeria is big, but in China today, we have a one-party state. And China, by population, is bigger than Nigeria.
Yes, the system in China is communism.
Okay.
They're not the same thing to Nigeria.
Okay.
The system in China, so one person dictates what is happening. Since Mao Zedong was there, there have been one-party system, communism. Nigeria is not tilted towards that area.
Okay. But what you're seeing with the rate of defections to APC, close to the election, let's talk about the primaries, for example, you're seeing an implosion in APC.
There's going to be a very big explosion in APC.
Okay.
APC won't have it smooth there.
All right. But do we speak to ideologies of these defections?
There's no ideology in Nigerian politics. So they use the political party as vehicle. Nobody has, there's no ideology. Somebody in APC, PDP, goes to APC, APC to Labour to, there's no ideology. What they are looking for, a vehicle that is going to help them to
achieve
their purpose.
I want to ask Dons, you've covered these situations from the past, coming forward. Would you say that it's been the same? Or since return to democracy in 1999, it tends to shift towards individualism and self-realization of private ambition and all that?
The same thing we witnessed in the same politics in the First Republic, Second Republic, Third Republic, and Fourth Republic, the same thing. The same individual are shifting from one party to the other. There's no, it's only UPN that time that seemed to have an ideology, But the rest, Ahmad Kanu man, Amin Kanu was principled. He couldn't have defected to MPN. And even though they started with MPN, but when he saw the MPN was not doing very well, he went and formed his PRP. That PRP remained there until he died. So there is no principle in Nigerian people defecting. If you go to Second Republic, MPP was founded by Waziri. Then when it did not go well, he left and formed GNPP.
Okay.
And also the same defection going up and down.
Those, can this situation be salvaged in Nigeria? Because everybody, I've spoken to a lot of persons, analysts, professionals, politicians, everybody tends to point to the same direction, lack of ideology.
There are ideology
yes,
now.
but is there anything that we can do as a people to see that this situation is dealt with?
You see, the problem we have is when we talk of freedom. Okay. You cannot force people to stay one place.
Okay.
We went abroad. Our first system was parliamentary system, the British parliamentary system, Westminster system. We didn't work well. We went to America and borrowed the American system. But did we follow the American system? Even that British system, we didn't see somebody from Conservative Party going to Labour, or Labour going to Conservative Party. In the US, you will see the Democrats going to Republican. They remain where they are. But Nigerians are self-centered. Everybody's, I want my own. Nobody's interested in how we run Nigeria.
Okay. But Dons, I want to go a little further and ask. This problem, is it the fault of the illiterate?
Yeah, the fault of the illiterate, we will say the fault of the illiterate. Poverty is the system.
Okay.
They have pauperized us. They have weaponized us with poverty. Because we are poor. If you give you 2,000 naira, you go and vote for somebody you don't want to vote for. Because you are poor, you want to ask you to invite you to a political party that you don't want to belong to. It's poverty. Because the system, I still talk of the system. System has weaponized us. It made us to be very poor. If the system is little liberal, it wouldn't have been like that. There's no, in Nigeria today, there's no middle class. But you have very few at the top, and most of us at the grass level. There's no middle class.
All right. Now let's look at industrialization. It does. You know, despite the oil booms in Nigeria and attempts in the 70s and 80s into industrialization, we'll talk about the Ajokuta Steel Company and some other attempts. Nigeria consistently failed to achieve any significant industrialization efforts, not minding the vast resources and the population. What would you say is the problem?
How we start industrialization? When one, it was that the leadership still do not want us to industrialize. One, you have to have a base. There's no electricity. You can't industrialize without electricity. When you have that basic fundamental, then you start talking about and we are borrowing our technology from outside. But the technology we have, the industrialization we have, is not indigenous. Ask Russians to come and do Ajokuta for us. They have been doing it, they failed. We're now turning to China for us. But we have people who would have done it for us. But because of ethnicism, tribalism, we won't allow it to work.
Who are these people?
The system for the 1980s, when they brought, Ajokuta was dying, they brought one Dr. Ezemanari from Canada or Canada to come and help develop Ajokuta. The man was doing it with his sense of responsibility. But at a stage, they didn't allow him to go. to continue. We have the best brains. Look at during the war, Biafra had a very big, research and production. They were able to withstand Nigeria with their thinking tank. They developed a lot of technology. Their mind, our oil. They developed war weapons, and they would allow it to go up. At the end of the war, Asika came and said, let this brain that did it in Biafra, do it for us. But that was why he established Proda. But they allowed Proda to die. What did Proda do? All the things they produced, they didn't allow it to go. They keep on frustrating Proda. They don't give them bond because of it. They said, if you allow them to come, they will bring another Biafra. Why? Open your mind to people who can help. Proda is not working anything. Even though the brains that did it were there, as you can assemble them, but I frustrated those brains because of ethnicity. Okay. If Nigeria were allowed to, when Nigeria will open their minds, forget where you come from. Look at what they have in football now. Maybe they don't consider ethnicity in football. That's why Nigeria played well. But when they start bringing somebody from, because you are from this place, you are from this place, nobody plays with his heart.
Okay. Now that you've mentioned ethnicism, beyond the issue of ethnicism, you do not see Nigeria being able to industrialize?
That is fundamental. That ethnicism is fundamental. If you allow best brains to work, they work very well. But we won't allow them.
Why do you think they are scared to allow these best brains work?
Well, you know, as I do know, that they fear some people, some ethnic group. If you allow them to grow up, that ethnic group.
That's the insight. You have the freedom of speech.
That if you allow the Igbo man to develop, look at what is happening in Lagos now. They're demolishing their properties. Okay. Because where it come from.
Is it targeted?
Obviously. The Igbo man went to the swamps of Lagos, developed it, built it, made it to grow. But when they see that it's growing, they're not happy. They want to sell their bulldozers to demolish those buildings, those properties they acquired.
Right. Let's look at, when you were speaking before, you did mention Nigeria borrowing their systems from either the US and the British. But let's speak to federalism, for example, as a model that has failed to address Nigerians' ethnic and regional cleavages to ensure sustainable development and unity of Nigerians like you speak to. Now, I want to ask, beyond this very system, do we, like some people have argued, do we advance for unitary system of government?
When they talk of federalism, the British who introduced here in Nigeria were not honest. They liberalized a system in the south, and in the north they conserved it. They didn't allow the south, the north, to see what is Western civilization. They allowed civilization in the south, and ensure that the system did not meet up with the south. For instance, now the north did not practice the same electoral system until 1944 with the south. The south elections were held, legislative councils elections were held, but in the north it was proclamation by the governor that was going on there. In the south, elections were have a legislative assembly. In the north, they didn't have it until after Richard's Constitution of 1945. That was when they brought it there. But then, the emirs were dictating what was going on in the north. But in the south, there was liberal democracy. So, what Nigeria had was divide and rule. They divided the south against the north. The north, they have one region from Makodi, from Benue here, from after to Sokoto, one region. But in the south, they said that the south is too big. They want to divide. Enugu used to be the capital of southern Nigeria until 1939, when they now divided the Enugu between the western region and the eastern region. Then they left Cameroon, which was part of Nigeria at that time. So in the north, from Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello was decided what was going on in the north. But in the south, Auro and Azikiwe were fighting themselves. Henry was there in Cameroon. So there was no unity. So what they did, they had to make sure that the crippled Nigeria, what they are doing was divide and rule. The south, the west will be fighting the south, the east. The east will be fighting the Cameroon. The north remain one. So that's why it is difficult for Nigeria to be one. And that was when the people came in 1962, the January 1962. The people were ideologists. They didn't know why they wanted to test where we come from. They made sure that our interest was one Nigeria. But it didn't last long. Because the people who planned the coup did not execute the coup. Did not execute after or implement what is going on. Zogu that executed the coup was arrested and detained. UNC was not part of the coup. UNC did not coup the ideology of the people who organized the January 15 coup.
Okay. But still speaking to this issue, would you say that the system in the north failed better than it is in the southeast?
They did not open the north
at all
to civilization. They made sure that the north answers yes, yes, yes. Zombie, zombie, zombie. Amadu Bello decided anything, everybody goes to it. They didn't allow people to go to school in the north. They allowed pauperize them. They were carrying what do you call it, plates, begging for food.
And that's a burden on the country?
Burden on the country. They have the Amajiri system in the north. If they have allowed them, exposed them to civilization, they wouldn't have been as backward as they are. Because the north is capital of poverty in Nigeria.
Okay. Now, still talking to the unity of the country, and I want to ask, in a country like Nigeria, how can a singular national identity be crafted vis-a-vis suppressing ethnic and cultural identities and recognizing them as intricate part of the Nigerian identity?
It's not easy. It's so simple as that. Because for us to start that, to do that, we have to be honest. There must be honest leadership. Leadership must be honest. Look at the people who are in Nigeria today. Those of them who are in positions, they are, if I'm like our president now, he appointed his own people to critical stages of the economy. His own people, governor of central bank, minister of finance, various sectors of the economy. In the east, southeast has only two ministers. Others are minister of state. You have only only one minister now, Omahi. Others are, you go to Anambra, minister of state for foreign affairs. You go to Abia, minister of state for this, minister of this. There are no substantive minister in the south except Omahi today in Nigeria, and we say we're one country.
So, do we blame the president or do we blame the Igbo politicians for that?
The Igbo is not in government. You can't blame Igbo politicians. Because if you go Igbo politicians, you don't see like some of Igbo politicians self-serving. They don't just answer yes, yes, yes to the president because they want to continue rigging their boots, washing their plates.
Do we see that for lack of the willingness of the Easterners to vote for the APC? They have to reward
the constitution did not say it must belong to APC for it to be appointed a minister. The constitution says every state should have a minister. But in order to make sure they fulfill what the constitution says, they gave us minister of states. They didn't want to give us substantive ministers. So if we say you must vote for APC, suppose you vote for APC and APC fails to win, must you vote for that party now for you to be appointed? To recognize. If I know that you are good, why can't I give you a position and you work for Nigeria? Not working for me. If I know that you can perform here, I point you to that position where you go to perform and deliver to Nigeria and not for yourself.
Okay. All right. Well said. But I still want to, before we go on a short break, I want to probe on the issue of agriculture. Now, we witnessed in this country, there were periods when we talk about the granite pyramid in the north, the cotton industries. We talk about palm oil flourishing down southeast, and you talk about the cocoa in the southwest at that era. And then it was even thrilling that countries like Malaysia came to Nigeria to learn about the palm oil, which is flourishing in their country today. But I want to ask, given this whole boom that we witnessed in this area. Nigeria in this time is dependent on food importation for food security. And Don, I want to ask, if you are to advise, what are the realistic steps that we should take to see that this situation is curbed and we return to that era of the pyramids and the flourishings of the palm oil in the East?
Do you know what led to the decline of agriculture? People don't lose interest in agriculture.
Okay.
What led to it was the discovery of oil.
Okay.
Oil, petroleum products. Oil was coming. Nigeria before that time we were talking, oil was not the primary resources of the country. It was agriculture that made Nigeria what it was. The lot of Nigerian sugar was built with palm produce from the East. Lot of Ife was built with resources from cocoa in the West. Ahmadu Bello University was built with resources from groundnut. But when oil came, everybody go and told us Nigeria's problem. The problem of Nigeria now was how to spend money and not money again. And they rejected agriculture, turned their back on agriculture. Every month we carry our plates, go to Abuja to beg money to give us. And nobody look at what. How about our plantation, palm plantation? Cashew industry is nowhere. It's abandoned. All those things we are giving money to the east, to the eastern region. Nobody relied more on agriculture. All this is the bit in Enugu was through agriculture. But as soon as oil was discovered, it made us to abandon agriculture. In any case, federal government do they have any land? Just decree says that the land, that all lands belong to the governor of the state. But you have Minister of Agriculture. Why are they farming? There's no increase anyway, just window dressing. They just making noise and have agriculture. They don't practice agriculture. The moment we realize our past, the better for us. Not depending on petrol products, on oil. That is the problem we have.
All right, Dons, we'll go on a short break. When we return, I'll ask how we can reverse this trend.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at.
Thank you for staying with us. We are still probing the road not traveled, and we are talking with Dr. Dons Eze, a veteran journalist. Doctor, you are talking about agriculture, that the federal government doesn't own any land, yet they have a Minister of Agriculture. And I want to ask, how do we revert to that earlier trend where there was a boom in Nigeria? Talk about the Southeast. You've mentioned Okpara and the exploits he did with agriculture. How do we get back to that trend?
Okay, Okpara had what we call palm plantations. You have to use all one palm plantation. Ebama, Haji. He had established so many palm plantations. All population we have here, all people that roam the streets in search of job, why can't we recruit them to the farms? Why can't we use them? What they are doing is riding Okada, riding Keke. But if we have a focused government, create farm settlements, put these people there, they will be working there, and agriculture will start to have that to do. That was what Okpara did. Like we said at the beginning, Nigeria, the palm plantation, palm produce from Nigeria was taken by from here to Malaysia. Malaysia developed it, and when I importing palm oil from Malaysia, if we were able to set up farm settlements, revive the agriculture program. I mentioned cashew industry earlier, but it has been abandoned for the past 50 years. Since after the war, it has not breeding anything. But we were making a lot of money from it before Pumapara was there. Our group will have those farm settlements. If you know some area that is good for, it is cocoa in the Calabar area. It's a big cocoa plantation. Palm plantation is there at one. So many places. So if the government is focused, let us go back to agriculture. Let us stop going to Abuja every month begging for money. Because this money, it's not money not suffered for. Instead of using that the agriculture, what we are doing is to go to Abuja to beg for money. When there's a problem in the petroleum sector, the government will collapse. The only thing is let government be more serious. Like I mentioned, the Minister of Agriculture, I don't know where the federal government farms have at least not in Enugu State. And I have not seen any federal government farm in Enugu State where you have Minister of Agriculture. What is he doing? It's not policy formulation. That's all. Can formulate policy, yes, but the practical aspect of it should be done by the region, by the states.
Okay. Now that we're still talking about agriculture and all that, it still brings us back to what we are talking about, the issue of regionalism. And I want to ask, should Nigeria go back to regionalism? Do you think we will thrive more in terms of replicating those earlier trends in agriculture, development, and all that?
How do we start regionalizing? I will combine like Southeast and 5 states. I will bring them together as one state, as one region. As we had before. And how do we start it?
So it's no longer feasible.
It's not so easy. No state, nobody would like his own state to collapse. At least if it's for anything, he's giving employment to some people. Because when you have a state government, you have everything down the line, even though it consumes a lot of money. But we have started it. You cannot go back to what they're now proposing more states instead of regionalizing. It's not so easy to go back to that system we had before.
Okay, I was coming to that, but you've mentioned it. I wanted to ask your opinion on the issue of more states. I beg the fact that other regions are going to get an additional state, and Southeast that had less is still going to get one.
I wish we are going to have state created. No civilian government has created states since Nigeria, except Midwest, that was created in 1962 through the controversy NCNC and APC. Sorry, what do you call it? NPN. You have NCNC. You have AP. What do you have in the north? You have NPC. Northern Congress. Because that time, Awolowo was sent to prison. So the NCNC was able to come together with NPC and create Midwest. That time, there were other requests for state creation. The Job People's Congress was asking for their own state. The Midwest state was asking for their own. But through the connivance of NCNC and NPC, they were able to create. So no civilian government has created any state. So I was sure that these people who are talking of state creation are not just making us, the more you look, less you see.
So you do not believe in the possibility that this administration will be able to do that?
It's difficult. Because you have to go through a lot of systems.
Okay.
The state legislators have to agree, and a lot of things have to do.
Okay. Now that we're talking about state creation and all that, let's talk a little bit about the national politics, especially with regards to the opposition and the crisis that we're witnessing. I don't know if you're conversant with the happenings in the PDP.
Yes. PDP, yes, because they showed themselves on the foot in 2003. Okay. When they were talking of the North should not have the national chairman and also have the presidential candidate. But because some people were interested in we have people who are always contesting for election. They didn't want that thing to happen. What they did was we have this G5 governors. They tipped themselves, led by Wike. Wike always has his own voting ambition. He wanted to be president. He didn't get it. So, of course, I cannot eat. Let us scatter it. So, because we were not able to get the presidency or vice presidency in 2003, he went as the PDP. And he made sure his own men are there who are doing this. They're talking of having their convention in November. Let's pray that it works out. But Wike is not sleeping. He makes sure that Tinubu will not have any opposition in 2023. That Tinubu will be a sole candidate. When he destroyed PDP, he wanted to destroy ADC. Maybe Peter Obi are not yet declared where he's going to run, if he will run. Jonathan was talking. So Wike's own game plan was to make sure that Tinubu was a sole candidate in 2027. But it might not work that way. There must be some level of opposition.
Okay, but these same scenarios that we are witnessing now, was it not the same from your experience and coverings? Was it not the same that caused or led to military coups in the past administrations?
That was why there's a rumor of coup.
Okay.
It is because of our inability to manage our political system that led the army to come in. The same thing, the same scenario is playing out now. We're not able to manage our own system now. Somebody wants to be a sole candidate in 2027. I wish him well.
All right. Let's bring it a little closer to 20th October. On 20th October this month, we witnessed protests. For example, the Free Nnamdi Kanu protests and all that. And I want to ask, do you think this issue of Nnamdi Kanu will be able to be resolved legally? To bring context to it, we've seen that he has entered a no-case submission, has refused and told the judge that he has not found anywhere in Nigerian law, no extant law upon which he's been charged, and therefore cannot enter into any defense.
I want to speak with Nnamdi Kanu. Because I know that for the past 5 years, that case has been lingering in court. How long will it linger? It's either you decide it or you do not decide. Because it's not a court case. It must be a political solution. It must be a political solution. For Nnamdi Kanu decided to defend himself, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. And I don't think it works well. The lawyers understand, they have their language. So I don't think Nnamdi Kanu has that language. Whether there is no constitution or no constitution, he knows. I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot speak for that.
But if you're to look directly and advise this government, what would you be telling them?
Why are they holding him? What did he do?
Okay.
I don't know why they're holding him. When they are negotiating with bandits, hopefully the bandits will come with their full military regalia and come to discuss, negotiate with government. And they know those bandits. Who is supplying that bandits with weapons they are using? How they get their use? How do they feed? And yes, they're holding one man. And what the one man is bigger than all the bandits that are releasing. Giving amnesty to murderers, to drug addicts. And we won't give them the kind of amnesty if he committed an offense. So isn't Nnamdi Kanu bigger than all those people that are releasing? They are giving pardon. Why are they holding him? So I don't think it's going to be decided in court. There must be a political solution to it. If the president is bold and so is man enough, let him release him. Nnamdi Kanu is not a journalist.
Okay. All right. Still on the issue of 20th, the same 20th of October was the anniversary of the NSAS protest that happened over 5 years ago. And then I want to ask, you're conversant with that happenings. Do you think Nigeria has learned anything from that experience?
They have not done anything. They say NSAS. Has NSAS been ended? They just changed his name.
Okay.
They have not done anything. But what they did was to use machine gun to gun innocent people down. They didn't. There's no reform of the police system. So the same NSAS that cry, They just change the name. They don't call it, what was the name? SARS. They don't call them SARS again. They call them another name, but they're doing the same thing. The people they protested against.
All right. Now we're speaking to insecurity now. What's your assessment of the security situation in Nigeria? And do you think it's time for state policing?
What causes insecurity is what? Poverty.
Okay.
People graduate from school. People did everything. There's no work. They say an idle mind is devil's workshop. If you have given them employment, they won't have insecurity. Because there's no job. And when you start staying alone, you're hungry, you want this, you start thinking of what to do. Kidnapping is now a very big business. People going to kidnap you. They call for ransom, you pay for them, they make money. So the solution to this is to create job for these people. It's not by any other means. There's nothing you can do but to give them job.
Okay.
Or give them avenue. Make them think make it possible for them to have something doing.
Okay. Doctor, you do not subscribe to state policing as is being bandied about?
The state policing has both positive and negative effect.
Okay.
Yes, positive in the sense that you know the people who are policing you. But in negative sense, it could be mismanaged.
Okay.
People use those people as thugs during the election period, and they use it against their perceived enemies, to harass their perceived enemies. That is the problem of what is happening in Anambra, where they have the Anambra people. But good enough, the minister, the Aneke or whoever, or police IG said they're going to be used in the Anambra election.
Okay. They're not going to be used in this election. And do you believe that?
That is not going to be progress. Okay. Because if assuming that they come out and the police challenge them, or any other group, there's going to be a problem.
Okay. Doc, before I let you go, I want to get your honest assessment of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration vis-a-vis the previous government that you've covered.
It kind of was Tinubu from Buhari.
Okay.
Since Buhari and Tinubu came, poverty has been entrenched in Nigeria.
Sorry, Don, I want to get you correctly. You cannot divorce Tinubu from Buhari. Okay.
The APC government.
Okay, and government is a continuum.
Continuum. Okay. How much was dollar when Buhari came in? Okay. Can you remember? It wasn't up to 200 naira.
Yes.
But how much is dollar today?
1,400.
1,400. Do you compare darkness and light?
Which one is darkness? Which one is light?
Use your teeth to count your tongue to count your teeth.
Okay, but Don, so what you're telling us is that the government you've covered has fared better when compared
to some extent, yes. People are not as poor as it is now. Okay. I cannot fuel my vehicle.
Okay.
I cannot fuel my vehicle now. You have a lot of problem in Nigeria. They say food prices are coming down, but who sent it up? I don't know the system that sent food prices up. Because when insecurity is there, people cannot go to the farm. Go to farm and bring out food. It made food to go up. But if you can police the system and people are free to go to farm, in my own community, in my own village, people hardly go to farm because of fear of the farm herdsmen. But who brought them? It's not the APC government. So there's a lot of problem in Nigeria.
But a lot of persons are still commending the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration, at least for the boldness to cause reform, remove subsidy, and the likes.
Remove subsidy. If you remove subsidy, what is the effect of that subsidy removal in your own person? Are you enjoying that subsidy removed? When Jonathan wanted to remove subsidy in 2012, the same Bola Tinubu led group, led the demonstration against him. He sent Tinubu that he removed subsidy in 2023. Led demonstration against Jonathan. If Jonathan had been allowed to remove that subsidy that time, Nigeria would have stabilized. But they stabilized him. They led protest against him. Now they remove subsidy and say he's commending. Why are they commending you for the wrong thing has done?
All right. On a final note, Dons, you are to advise these governments and Nigerians. What will you be telling them?
They should look at human life is very important.
Okay.
Okay. They said GDP is coming down. How does GDP coming up or coming down in my own life? How does it affect me as a person? Okay. It's not talk of GDP. It's just GDP is the Western world assessment. The poverty in Nigeria has increased. They say Nigeria up to 130 people are poor in Nigeria. Cannot meet what United Nations United Nations standard. So GDP, they have not to do the GDP. The GDP is what? How does I perceive it in myself, in my life, in my family? Can I pay school fees easily for my children? Can I pay house rent for my where I'm living? Can I build a house? How much is a bag of cement today? How much was it before they came in? So that's how to measure GDP. I'm not interested in this Western GDP thing. How does it affect human individual?
Okay. On that note, as we conclude, the path ahead for Nigerians demands collective commitment and bold action. The road not yet traveled is filled with promises but calls for unity, integrity, and innovative leadership. It is up to every Nigerian to embrace this journey and work together to realize the nation's full potentials. Our future depends on the choices we make today, and Dr. Duns is a veteran journalist, has helped us stray from the past and the present, this road not yet traveled. Thank you, Dr. Duns, for being with us. It's a pleasure to have you. God bless. And we'll pray to have more of you going forward. Yes, and to you, our viewers, remember that on the inside, your views matters. Let us know what you think about this discussion and subsequent ones by reaching us with the hashtag #TheInsight, all at Aneke TV on Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Till we come your way, same time tomorrow. I still remain your host, Uche Osai. Bye-bye.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
A sị na ekwe kụọ ama agba, ekwe ụmụ nwaanyị akụọla o. Ọkwa na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị oge anyị ji akpa maka ọdịmma anyị karịkwa maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ. Nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị bụ ebe anyị na-akpa maka arụike anyị, ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, azụmahịa, omenala ndị ahụ dị mma, nakwa ihe ndị ahụ ga-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ sonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị ebe ahụ a na-akarị ihe na-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Ndị nne, ndị nna, oge a bụkwa nke anyị. Sonyela anyị na Aneke TV n'ebe a na-emetụ aka na ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ social media na TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Ọkwa na Aneke TV ka ihe ndị a niile na-eme. Aneke TV, anyị apụọnụ.
As families across the country prepare for the festive season, many are holding on to traditions that make Christmas special, from cooking together to church activities and family gatherings. These customs continue to bring people closer despite economic challenges. We hit the streets to find out which traditions Nigerians are determined to keep this year.
Tradition, Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. It's ceremonial because the event has already happened. So just very ceremonial acknowledgement of the birth of the Messiah. Okay, there is the getting together of the family. We see it as a time of holidays. Usually, apart from the traditional communal mass return in the community, because it's communal, and where I come from, Nnewi for instance, we see it as a time of coming together, a time of relaxation, a time of meeting people who probably for the past years you've not seen for a long time.
The Christmas tradition is, as a Christian, we all believe that Christ is born on 25th. The remembrance of his birth is on the 25th of every December. And bearing that in mind, you have to go home, reunite the family, then get prepared for the expected year to come.
That's masquerade. Masquerade is very, 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 very fantastic and memorable. It's fun. I can't miss it. It's just once in a year.
This is the only time you see your family members together in a year. And it's just on that December time, which is 25th of December. So I would like to see my family again, because in January, after last year, I didn't see them, so I may like to see them. That is why I'm just so happy about the Christmas, so that I will see my family together again.
In our community, we have what we call Christmas program. We do it every year. They will also mix me, but I don't have any option to travel based on the financial aspect.
There's no particular thing we normally do on Christmas, but since childhood, I find it very, very convenient spending my Christmas at home from childhood. You understand? So it has been a tradition, spending it. Because in Christmas, that's the time you meet your friends, your colleagues, your brothers, your sisters that have traveled and then they came back. You stay together. You discuss about the family. So missing it, I feel something will miss in me.
No, outside the normal celebration of cooking rice, chicken, and the rest.
In my family, or in our family, we used to do end of the year party and a New Year celebration party. So I have to be one of attends, possibly. I'm on the first issue in my family. So possibly I have to be around. If not, it will not be held. So I may like to travel.
Sure, we used to celebrate, cook, visit our relations and all that.
There is no Christmas tradition, it's only New Year festival, which this Christmas I'm going to spend it in Enugu, then New Year I'll go for that festival in my village.
So there is no particular Christmas tradition me and my family do observe. We rather do it during New Year period.
Those were the thoughts of some Nigerians on the traditions that make Christmas meaningful for them. As the celebrations draw near, many say these customs help strengthen family bonds and keep the spirit of the season alive. I am Sharon Uchi, Aneke TV. Hello and welcome to Aneke TV. Today we are on the streets of Enugu to get public reaction to a statement making headlines worldwide. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said he feels safe in Nigeria, a surprising contrast to the negative reports he had read before